This video discusses topics that may be disturbing to some viewers. It discusses cases of missing and or murdered victims whose case have been solved or a missing person's remains identified by using forensic genetic genealogy. Viewer discretion is advised.
A school teacher was looking for some rocks on the banks of the Sand Wash Creek, which is located in Congress, Arizona, on July 23, 1960. That day, the only discovery would be that of a horrible nightmare. What he found instead can only be described at the time as the remains of a young child partially buried on the shoreline. Investigators on the scene noticed there was an adult footprint as well as two other spots in the sand where it appeared to look like the soil may have been disturbed. Investigators figured those disturbed spots may have even been spots that the killer tried to bury the young body, but for one reason or another the spot failed as a good area. The child's body had been burned, and pathologists were only able to determine that the child had been dead for an estimated 1 to 2 weeks. Due to the high temperatures in the summertime in July in Arizona, it increased the decomposition rate of the remains, making the cause of death very difficult to try and figure out. However, pathologists did not find any signs of trauma to the skeleton. Trauma to the skeleton could have indicated if there had been a newly healed broken bone or a past broken limb. Due to the surrounding circumstances of the young child's death, it was ruled a homicide. Pathologists were also able to determine that the child was most likely a young female that was around the ages of 2 years old to 9 years old. She was only 55 pounds and 3 feet 5 inches. Her hair was that of an artificial auburn tint, and she had all of her baby teeth that were in very excellent condition. When the little one was found, she was wearing a checkered shirt, a male adult flip-flop that was cut down to fit her, a white pair of shorts, and she had red finger and toenails. As local law enforcement asked the public for help through different news outlets, her identity sadly still stayed a mystery. She eventually attained a nickname as Little Miss Nobody. The local community gave the little one a proper funeral service in 1960 where many from the town actually attended. Law enforcement pursued many leads that matched the little girl's description, but sadly nothing was able to be confirmed. She stayed nameless as Little Miss Nobody for over half a century. It was not until the little one was exhumed and a DNA sample was taken from her remains in order to be tested, bringing with it a renewed amount of hope. Between 2016 and 2018, they were able to build a DNA profile to be uploaded to the combined DNA indexing system with no possible matches. The National Missing and Unidentified Persons System worked to try and identify someone as a possible sibling. But sadly, the DNA swab that was done was not conclusive enough at the time with what DNA could do that it made the case stall all over again. It was not until 2021 that the Sheriff's Office of Yavapai County continued the search and pursuit to identify this little girl. The Sheriff's Office reached out to Othram Labs, who took possession of the skeletal remains and were able to use forensic-grade genome sequencing to get a genealogical DNA profile. The amazing part is that even with the degradation of the sample and the age of the remains, they were lucky that they were able to get a very high-quality amount of DNA for a DNA profile. Using the profile that Othram was able to generate, their genealogists were able to locate someone that looked like a potential sibling. They got a rapid familial testing kit and was able to find that Roberto Juan Gallegos was the brother of Little Miss Nobody. It was explained to law enforcement that the little girl was Sharon Lee Gallegos, who was 4 years old at the time. She had been playing in the alley of her grandmother's with 2 other children in Alamogordo, New Mexico on July 21, 1960. The FBI and the police department of Alamogordo were searching for the little girl but were never able to find her or a suspect. The Alamogordo police knew that a suspect or suspects were in a 1951 or possibly 1952 green Plymouth. When she went missing, they did think at one time that the remains found by Sand Wash Creek could be that of Sharon Gallegos. But due to the fact there was not enough technology or the scientific ability to check at the time, they used other means, such as the initial estimated age of the remains being older than Sharon and the clothing she was found in being different. Due to all of that and the mismatched footprint, Little Miss Nobody was ruled out as the missing child from New Mexico. I am glad that Sharon finally has been given her name back, and she can now forever be honored and remembered as Sharon Lee Gallegos and not Little Miss Nobody.